How do light elves truly exist? If there is the shadow self, everyone should integrate into their light side. Are the light elves dark as well in Tolkien's world? Do they have a dark side at all? I will be exploring this concept at the end, but first, let me give you my honest opinion and experience about the shadow self. The shadow self is the part of us kept in darkness and shadow from our own consciousness of what we really are. It is the agent in the matrix, and you are dealing with other agents in the matrix when you are dealing with others' shadow selves. Many of us have bumped up against the shadow self and don't know what it is. Some start to live inside of it actually, and this is the part of us that likes to do bad, may think it's fun to hurt others, and even enjoy the pain we feel or hate for ourselves in an indirect kind of way, coming from the subconscious. It is a strange land, but everyone walks through it, and some even stay there for a while, because what it really means is you are at a stage or a phase of unconsciousness living, where you temporarily forget who you really are, and your ego says, I am this terrible person, this is me, I am a flawed human. It is the dark side of the moon before the sun hits it. The dark side of the moon is said to be the place where your demons hide. I want to give you a new perspective, as I have seen the other sides of reality while experimenting in my life with hallucinogenics like the late Terence McKenna. Let's just say I've always loved the elements from the earth that awaken your senses as a gift to you. My life has opened up in a way that has allowed me to come back and tell everyone about the amazingness and oneness behind the curtain. I've also had a near-death experience, and I can tell you for a deep-hearted fact, there is no shadow self there within the prime creator that we all come from. Only purpose, self-sustaining life, laws, cause and effect, and love as the fuel and energy for creation itself. There is no ego there. Because how can there be ego at all after a split into so many souls in the universe from oneness? Our prime creator is actually a selfless, supreme being, supreme mind. That's what we really come from, is a state of selflessness and life-giving energy. It is a selfless act of giving life, and we are in union with it when we truly become selfless ourselves. Those who can't imagine figures of light have made the dark side of themselves too conscious, too aware, and too alive, forgetting who they really are deep inside, pushing down the light side of themselves, thinking that could never be them, they could never become that. That's a temporary amnesia state in which you are forgetting your true self. Carl Jung was right. If you don't make yourself aware of your dark side, then it can rule your emotions. But you certainly are not supposed to live from there, making it part of who you are. Being aware of your dark side comes through having an event or an action take place in your life in which you show a side of yourself you're not really happy about. You're not proud about it. And then you can pull yourself away from that moment and reflect on it and say, you know what, I want to be a bigger person next time. I want to be a better person next time. And many of us go and apologize to the person that we hurt. The reason why we are always pulled to apologize if we are in connection to our higher mind is because we know deep inside that we are better than that. The way that we acted was a temporary state of forgetfulness. Here is my personal experience with this. The shadow self is actually not who we are at all. It is the forgetful part of us that gets too involved with the ego identity and material world around you. People often say we have to become both human and divine. However, we are not human. Not really. We are playing the roles of humans because nothing in this world is actually truly matter on its own. It is only perceived as matter through waves, frequencies, and vibrations of tiny little particles that actually float around, forming the reality that we get to experience. And sometimes you get to a point in your soul evolution where you are tired of seeing and observing the shadow self of others around you play out in the world, play out their wars, fighting with each other, hurting each other, insulting, mocking, killing, raping, torturing each other. When you get to that point where you are so hurt and tired of the suffering and the pain of others, that's when the true light side starts to poke through of what you really are inside. After you have worked on your issues within and you feel you have let things go in your own life, and you have figuratively packed your bags and are ready for the next adventure of humanity called the New Earth to many. This is a new society based on mutual respect, understanding, care, kindness towards one another, and higher intellect and wisdom. Logic and reason does play a big role, but more so, there is a divine connection to the prime creator that we are all created from, the universal mind. Sadly, people have killed each other on purpose or by accident by operating from just the shadow side without the light, or thinking that they could ever become the light themselves. Here is where fear, anger, and pain take over your higher mind and have you react from there. I and many others are done with this. Not that the journey ends with new situations and events that come up in our own life, but a light has gone on inside and it can't be turned back off. We know who we are and what we are by our experiences of connecting to other souls like us who have seen the light of truth of what we come from and what we are really doing here. We know behind the wall of Earth Dimension is a vast library stored of experiences and memories, and we really are love at the core. And we are all just hurt and in pain and suffering and are angry and resentful for the love that we don't experience from those around us, and also the love that we don't experience deep within ourselves. Remembering you are love at the core feels finally right inside, and finally allows an easygoing nature within your life where you don't say, I am a human in this experience, but instead you say, I am a light being, a thought form that is actually just hurt and frustrated with others who use their time on earth to hurt others and live life from their shadow self because they are simply not awakened yet. The light elves are pure and good, not because they imagine figures of light, but because they do things to become the light themselves in others' lives. They help others, they have good intentions towards the gentlefolk on Middle Earth, and they fight against the darkness that threatens to destroy life. They have no need to resent themselves or to resent others. They have simply the need to be upset at those who create darkness, pain, and suffering in Middle Earth. They fight against the darkness that threatens to destroy life. It is actually very logical and simple to become a good soul that walks towards the light on earth. Live from your higher mind and heart, from the union with the one who made the beautiful stars and exploded outwards to give birth to life on all planets around the universe. Living in divine union with Eru Iluvatar, which means the one, or he alone, is where you love all creations, wishing and hoping for their growth too, realizing that they are part of you. So as much as you want for yourself, you start to want for others. You align your thoughts to Prime Source and consciously think of yourself being part of it, even while down here walking on Earth in a physical body. The shadow self is the part of ourselves that happens while we forget who we truly are at the core. You are not that human who hates themselves. You are a point of consciousness and reflection that has gotten over-invested in the dream and are affected by others asleep around you. Anyone who tells you to live in the shadow self or integrate it into your lives simply wants you to not know what really lies beyond the ego. The light elves live from that place, where they have done that living from the shadow self in the first and second age according to the Silmarillion, when they fought each other and had wars against elven families, because they were listening to a voice of a stranger that came into their community and pitted each other against one another, saying that one wanted to take over the power and the throne from the other. They listened to the lies and the illusions, and by the time they are truly ready to ascend, they are fully light beings who have learned their lessons well and can now pass on some wisdom to others by the third age. That is all the light does. It turns on a light bulb in the dark rooms of others' minds and says, here you really are. Look at how beautiful you are. Look at how much you really just want to be loved. Look at how much you love others and have been hurt. Look at that purity that you contain inside when you really allow yourself to shine and be authentic in your feelings and in your desires of what it is that you wish to see. Now go, love, and bring joy to others and yourself, and create in your life the life that you always wish to experience. Create in your life the same way that you have created the stars. We are the collective consciousness experiencing ourselves temporarily by a subjective way and coming from different points of realization and consciousness and reflection within. I've had some amazing experiences that has shown me this. I have met souls that have reflected back this nature of reality, in which we connect to one another and say, oh yeah, I remember you. This is life. And Earth can actually be lived from this state of awareness and consciousness living. And that is when society changes completely. There's a whole new overall way of doing things. That's what it means to truly end polarity, is by actually realizing that good is all there really is. And the bad happens because the good forgets itself. And when you die, you go back to that place of purity and goodness and realize all of the things that you have done in your life to others is actually what you have done to yourself.